50 years, a son has lived without his father, who was killed in the line of duty in Denver. 5 decades later, he's reflecting on his hero and what he did in the city to honor him.
And we know that finding a job is hard. We'll add a criminal record to that, and sometimes it can seem impossible. But now some Coloradans are getting a chance to change just that.
And last call for a well-known bar in Erie, just one of so many restaurants that were forced to close down. There's a message from the bar owner as he is shutting the doors for the very last time. Good Sunday morning, everyone. Anisha here along with Jordan in for another gorgeous weekend day.
Yes, and it's a bag of mixed emotions here for us because on one hand, happy birthday to our dear friend Anisha. On the other hand, this is the last day we're going to have you for a few weeks.
I know.
Yeah. Actually, a couple months.
Couple of months, yeah. No, maternity leave officially starts right after this show for me. So,
all right.
Yeah, stay with me on social media. I'll keep everybody posted.
Perfect. And buckle up and stay with us this morning because we got to get over to Lauren Robinson again. As we were talking about, Lauren, that gorgeous weekend that is ahead for us. What we got in store?
Well, you just said it, a gorgeous weekend ahead. That's because we'll see those temperatures in the 70s, lots of sunshine. Well, I should say a gorgeous second half of the weekend since it's Sunday. Wait, Saturday? I don't know. It's Sunday.
Early.
So a gorgeous second half of the week. Oh my gosh, guys, stick with me here. And we will see those temperatures in the mid-70s. It'll be beautiful, but you know, we have a cooler start out there, 50 degrees, winds coming in from the southwest at 11 miles per hour. A very empty HD Doppler radar, guys. It's going to stay this empty all day long, and that's still zoomed in there. But as we go through the rest of the day, we'll see those highs there, 77 degrees, lots of sun in the skies. Even the winds will be nice and calm, so those won't be blowing around too much. Overnight, we cool down into the upper 40s under mostly clear skies, and then we have even warmer weather moving around for the start of our work week. I'll have those details for you just ahead in my 7-day forecast.
All right, thanks for that, Lauren. Today marks 50 years since the shooting death of a Denver police officer, Merle Nading. 9 News crime and justice reporter Matt Jablow sat down this week with one of Nading's sons who shared his memories of that terrible day and of his wonderful father.
It makes you understand how precious life really is.
50 years later, Lance Nading says he remembers it like it was yesterday.
Yeah, for sure.
The worst yesterday of his life.
It changed my life forever.
October 3rd, 1971, Lance's father, Denver police officer Merle Nading, responded to a call about a fight in a parking lot at Colfax and Gaylord. According to police, Nading was just about to make an arrest when he was suddenly attacked by 4 men, one of whom grabbed Nading's gun and shot him once in the back, killing him.
The way that he died, the very brutal way that he died, burned in my brain for every minute of every day since then in some capacity.
Lance was 10 the day his father died. His brother Todd was 8.
I was in bed. It was a Sunday. I was in bed sleeping in. I'm almost 11 years old.
He says he still vividly recalls his mother waking him up to tell him the news.
I remember exactly what she told me. She said, your father is dead. And she had a hard time sort of verbalizing anything beyond that.
1 week after Officer Nading's death, police arrested a suspect who was later tried but found not guilty.
I was livid. I was angry and confused.
Lance says it took a few years, but that his anger over his father's death eventually subsided. For the past 20 years, he's been a real estate developer. And in 1993, he opened Pint's Pub, a popular restaurant directly across the street from Denver Police Headquarters.
Well, I loved it, yeah. I absolutely loved it. You know, it was great because I'd see some of my dad's old buddies.
Merle Nading was a 6-year veteran of the Denver Police Department. His colleagues nicknamed him Bambi because of his kindness and gentle disposition.
He really was everything that they talked about.
Lance says his father was a loving and engaged dad, his hero, then, now, and always.
I'm nearing the stage of life that I wish he could have experienced. He never met his grandkids. Who wouldn't want their father to live to see them through adulthood? Who wouldn't want that? I would give anything to have that.
In Denver, Matt Jablow, 9 News.
Officer Nading was just 31 years old when he was killed. An estimated 2,500 people attended his funeral, and at the time, it was believed to be among the largest funerals in Denver history.
A bright spot for the first time since June. The CDC forecasts that the rate of COVID deaths will drop over the next month. And for the third week in a row, they are predicting hospitalizations will decrease nationwide as well. So right now, the latest data shows that 829 people are hospitalized with COVID across our state. That is almost to where we were about a month ago. And near the peak of the first wave of the pandemic, hospitalizations are starting to go down. But again, health leaders say we need to see a much bigger drop.
When applying for a job, should you be showing your COVID-19 vaccination status on your resume? And do employers have the right to ask you for it? Malini Basu with our sister station in Dallas chatted with an employment lawyer and a hiring firm to get some answers.
We are working with a lot of companies.
Rob Hill is a manager for Hire Dynamics, a staffing company in the DFW area. When looking to hire, vaccination status is often talked about.
It is a hot topic for everybody that we're talking with.
He suggests that folks applying for a job should show their vaccination status on their resume or LinkedIn page.
It helps them stand out in the workforce, and it removes some barriers for them.
But on the other hand,
voluntarily showing your vaccine card is going to be opening up claims of discrimination for folks as early as the pre-employment stage.
Rasha Zeta Thompson is a Dallas employment lawyer.
The issue that I foresee is, the issue for folks who cannot get vaccinated because of a disability or a religious belief.
However, the Biden administration is requiring businesses with 100 or more employees to get fully vaccinated against COVID-19 or get tested weekly, which leads us to healthcare workers who are applying for a job.
Employers can ask this question, but they have to be careful with how in depth they go.
Thompson says it can now be a simple yes or no question. Over at Hire Dynamics, when a candidate is applying for the job, the first step is making sure they have the skill set. Then comes the hot topic question.
We've identified that there is a potential for this candidate to be a match for this open position. Then we talk about the requirements. Stay positive and stay true to who you are.
In Dallas, I'm Malini Basu.
Well, the state of Alabama plans to use $400 million in federal COVID relief funds to build 2 new prisons. The governor signed the bills into law on Friday. Now, this is the money the governor sent states to help plug budget shortfalls caused by the pandemic. Proponents of the bill say it is legal under the federal guidelines. Now, opponents, though, argue that doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. Alabama is currently facing a lawsuit from the U.S. Department of Justice over unconstitutional prison conditions. The state has the 4th highest rate of COVID deaths in the nation.
It is a big month for the FDA Vaccine Advisory Committee. On their agenda, the Pfizer COVID vaccine for kids 5 to 11, and then also looking over booster data for the Moderna and J&J vaccines. The booster discussion will be happening on October 14th and 15th, and then the discussion on Pfizer's vaccine for kids will be on the 26th of this month. And as the FDA is preparing to talk boosters, you guys have had a lot of questions about this. Ariana Daytel has a recap of some of the viral claims that they fact-checked this week.
Is there an FDA authorization for boosters? Can you mix and match booster shots? And can you get a COVID-19 vaccine booster shot and the flu shot at the same time? These are just some of the questions about booster shots that we answered this week on Verify, so let's get you caught up. In August, U.S. health officials recommended that all fully vaccinated people should get a booster shot at least 8 months after they receive their second dose of a vaccine. With over 55% of Americans fully vaccinated against COVID-19, according to CDC data, many people are wondering if any booster shots have been authorized by the FDA. So let's verify. We went to these sources for an answer. On September 22nd, the FDA authorized a single booster dose of the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine for certain high-risk Americans. They said the booster shot should be given 6 months after the second dose. This authorization includes people over 65 years of age, adults with high-risk health conditions, residents of long-term care facilities, and adults who have jobs that put them at risk for exposure to the coronavirus, like teachers and healthcare workers. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky also recommended the booster shot for high-risk Americans. So we can verify, yes, the FDA has authorized the Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine booster shots for high-risk Americans. Next up, if a person received Johnson & Johnson's single-dose COVID-19 vaccine, should they get a booster shot of Pfizer? We went to these sources for an answer. The CDC says no, because there isn't enough data. According to the FDA and the CDC, individuals who received Moderna or Johnson & Johnson vaccines are not currently recommended to get a booster shot. So the short answer is no. But according to new data from J&J, their booster shot is highly effective at increasing antibody levels. But that data still needs to be reviewed by the FDA and the CDC. In the meantime, Dr. Umesh Adalja, a senior scholar at the Johns Hopkins University Center for Health Security, says people should avoid mixing and matching vaccines. So we can verify, no. It is not currently recommended for a person who received Johnson & Johnson's single-dose COVID-19 vaccine to get a booster shot of the Pfizer vaccine. Next up, can you get a COVID-19 vaccine booster shot and the flu shot at the same time? We went to these sources to verify. According to the CDC, a person can get a COVID-19 vaccine and other vaccines, like the seasonal flu shot, during the same visit to the doctor or pharmacy. The Public Health Agency also says on its website that people no longer need to wait 14 days between vaccinations as it previously recommended. Dr. Anna Durbin, a professor of international health at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, told Verify that participants in last year's COVID-19 vaccine trials were allowed to get their flu shots and they had no impact on the results.
I'm very convinced that it's very safe to give these vaccines either at the same time or within days of one another.
So we can verify, yes, you can get a COVID-19 vaccine booster shot and the flu shot at the same time. We fact-checked even more claims for you this week, and you can find those stories and more at verifythis.com and on our social media pages at VerifyThis. I'm Marianne Till with your weekly roundup from Verify.